In this video, we will be going through RCM Level 1 Sight Reading Curriculum, Week 3. This video is here for you to review your work after you complete it. You should first complete the day's activities on your own and then come watch the segment for that day here to check yourself for accuracy. Before we jump into day number 1, we're going to go through a brief tutorial. First activity every day has to do with note identification. You want to look at the clef sign, identify each note, identify the correct fingering. Sometimes this will also include identifying the position or intervals, and then play the notes. Activity number 2 is demonstrating a rhythm. You want to first look at the time signature, tap in one measure of the beat, and then speak the rhythm words over the top of the beat as you continue to clap. Third activity every day will have you sight read a passage. First complete the directions that they've written on the page for you, and then initiate the mnemonic device clap to make sure that you hit all of the steps for sight reading. The final activity every day will be creative. Read the instructions on the page, trust yourself, have fun with it, be creative, and see where it will take you. Now let's jump into day 1. Remember, you should complete the activities on your own before watching this segment. Okay, today we are looking at RCM Level 1 Sight Reading. We are in Week 3, Day 1. Our first set of problems here asks us to identify the first interval in each pattern and then play with given fingering. So the first interval would be the interval between the first note and the second note of each of these. So I've outlined which those are. The first one is a fifth, then a fourth, and a fourth. And to find the interval, it's the distance between the first note and the last note. You do count the first and the last note. So I've also identified the starting notes here as D, C, G, and G. And do feel free to mark things like this on a piece of music before you sight read it. It can help you. Okay, so I'm going to play each of these intervals now. On the piano, the first one is right around middle C here. The second one is with the left hand and begins on middle C. The next one is up an octave higher, begins on G. The last one is down an octave lower than middle C and begins on G. Looking at number 2, we are going to speak this beat over our 4/4 rhythm. So first we're going to start tapping 4 beats of music and then speak this over the top. I've already written in the rhythm words so you can check your work. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ti, ti, ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, ta. We'll do that one more time if you want to do it with me if you did not get it quite right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ti, ti, ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, ta. And it's important to both keep the beat and speak the rhythm. You can tap the rhythm with your other hand if you want, but I do prefer speaking. It's easier to do tapping with just one hand. Okay, next we're going to look at number 3, which is our sight reading for today. So I've spelled out what we should do for each step for count, look, attention, and play. They did ask us to circle the broken G major triad in measure 3. That's this right here. Next, we're going to count the rhythm by doing what we just did in number 2. 1, 2, 3. Ta, 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 ah. My starting notes are here with a 2 on E and a 1 on D. And then I pay attention to what happened next. So I drew in where my steps and my skips are. I have 1/4 here at the end that I drew as well. I circled my dynamics so I know where they are. And I also noticed that it is going to be legato. My last step is to play. I need to set a consistent slow beat, start, and keep going no matter what. So beginning with the right hand, 1, 2, 3, forte. And then switch hands, sorry for the break. Important to note that the first part of this is very loud. The second part is very soft. I will play it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, finally, it asks us in number 4 to add staccato marks to the quarter notes in the sight playing melody and then to play it again. So that's this up here. Instead of legato, we're going to do staccato. And I'm going to hold my long note here at the end without being staccato. It didn't tell us what we had to do, and so I'm going to take some freedom there. So I'm going to play it staccato now, and let's see what that does to the sound. 1, 2, 3. That is the end of day number 1. These are the activities for day 2. Please complete the activities on your own before watching this video segment. Let's take a look at day number 2. Number 1, this day asks me to plan the fingering, then play. I always like to circle the key signature at the beginning of the example because it reminds me what I'm supposed to do. Sometimes it might help me to circle the notes that are going to be sharp or flat so that I remember as well. So that's something you can do. Now it told me this would start on number 1, and that is a D, and these are steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. And over here I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Okay, I'm going to play the first one now. So it starts on D right above middle C. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to play the left hand. 1, 2, 3. So, did you count in with 3 beats for each of them? Did you remember the F sharps, and did you get the rhythms right? Okay, let's take a look at number 2. Number 2, I've written in the words for the rhythm, and we're just going to tap in and speak over our tapping. 1, 2, 3. Ta, ta, ti, 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 ta, ta. One more time with me. 1, 2, 3. Ta, ta, ti, 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 ta, ta. Great. Let's take a look at number 3 here. So remember, we are using clap. Now, it suggested that we plan the fingering by playing silently on the surface of the keys. That would be something that we would do during the attention phase. So I will look at that there. The first step is to count. So I'm going to tap in 4 beats, and then we're going to speak the rhythm over that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 ah, ah. Now I'm going to look at my starting position. This is left hand 5 on G, just below middle C. And this is right hand 5 on B, above middle C. Next, we're going to pay attention. So I did look at where my skips and steps are. You can see where I drew those in to help myself. You can do that as well if you want to. You don't have to. And I do notice that both phrases are slurred with legato. And I notice that the first phrase is going to be forte. The second phrase is going to be piano. Let's plan the fingering now. So I know that my 5th finger is supposed to start on G. So playing silently on the keys to plan fingering goes like this. You can actually write the fingering in if you want to ahead of time as well. I try to be careful about not writing too many things on the music because it can get a little bit complicated to see what you're doing. But you can certainly write in finger numbers instead of skip and step signs too if you want. Our last step is to play. We need to set a slow, steady beat going in, and we're not going to stop no matter what. If we make a mistake, we get 2 more attempts to try to correct it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's take a look at number 4. Number 4 asks us using the notes of a G major pentascale to create our own melody based on today's rhythm reading pattern. So we're going to use this rhythm and make our own melody on G. So the G major scale, which I wrote down, is G, A, B, C, D. That's the pentascale. So our melody is going to be based on that. And I'm going to both start and end on G because I like the way that that sounds. So here's what my melody sounds like. 1, 2, 3. Now there are a lot of melodies that you can make up there. So whatever you did, as long as you followed the rules of following that rhythm pattern and using the notes that are in the G major pentascale, whatever you did is correct also. Moving right along to day 3, please make sure you have completed the activities on your own before watching the video. We're moving on to day 3 with an exercise that is new to us. So number 1 asks us to identify the root and quality of each triad and then play them. So these triads are all in their root form, and I know that because they are all perfect skips from each other. So in order to find the root, I'm going to look at the bottom note. So this note here is C, and then I know that C is got an E flat in the pentascale if it's minor, and it's an E natural if it's not. So this one's natural, that must be major. Using that same logic, I found that the bottom note for this is F, and I know all white keys means major for F. The bottom note here is G, same thing, all white keys, so it's major. That's not true for every key, but for C, F, and G it is. So here it's C at the bottom, and once again, they are all white keys. That's the major pattern for C. And this bottom note is F, that's the major pattern for F. Now I'm going to play them. So here's my piano. The first C triad is up here. The second triad is F, it's down here. The next triad is G, it's right above middle C. The next triad is C, 1 octave below middle C. And the last triad is F, just a few notes above middle C. Now your register on the piano, that means how far away you are from middle C. So this is 1 register, this is 1 register, this is 1 register. Each of these is kind of like a different position on the piano. It does matter that you are playing in the right place because this F is only F on 1 spot on the piano. It is not this F by middle C. It's this F all the way down there. So as you're checking yourself against this video, please make sure that you are in the right register as well. Let's do number 2. For this, we're going to tap in 2 beats because we're in 2/4 time. You can see the rhythm words. Go ahead and do it with me. 1, 2. Ta, ti, ti, ta. Ta, ti, ti, ta. Great job. Okay, we're ready to use clap to play our melody for number 3. I did not spell out all the steps like I did the last 2 days. This time we're just going to do them together. So the first step is to count. This is in 4/4 time, so I'm going to tap it in. We will count it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 ta. Great. Next, I look at my starting notes. I wrote them down here. It's C for the left hand and C for the right hand. They are both on middle C. Now I need to pay attention to what's going on. So you'll see that I wrote in all the steps here, and up here there is a skip. And then that's a leap. That's a 4th from G to D and there. So I look at those things to make sure that I am ready. I also look at the phrasing marks. So these are legato slurs. Everything will be smooth and connected. And I notice mezzo forte in the beginning, piano in the end. My last step is to play. I need to set a slow and steady beat and keep going no matter what. Now I am holding my phone, so there is going to be a break as I transition from the left to the right hand, and that should not be there when you do that. So this is middle C. This is where I'm going to start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. let's take a look at number 4. Number 4 asks us to play a root position C major triad broken, then to play it solid or blocked, and then to sing the root, which is C, followed by the third, which is E. So I've written out what we need to do. First, we need to play it broken, which means notes separate. Then we need to play it blocked, which means notes all together. And then we need to sing the bottom 2 notes. So here we go. This is C. C, E, and I can check myself. That is day number 3. Next comes day 4. Please make sure that you have completed the activities on your own first before watching the video segment. Okay, we are on day number 4 now, and we are looking at number 1. It tells us to play the melodic pattern that we see written here, and then to play it blocked, and to look at what the triad is. So I see the bottom note here is going to be C, and the top note is G, and there's an E in the middle. So I recognize that if I block them together, they look like that. And that is a C major triad. So let's go ahead and play it the way they said. Now this is not at middle C, this is 1 octave below middle C. And 1, 2, here I go. And now blocked. Let's take a look at number 2. So we're going to tap in 4 beats. You can see all the rhythm words. We're going to go ahead and do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ti, 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 ta. Ta, ti, ti, ta. Great. Looking at number 3, we're going to play this melody observing the key signature. So we know that we can use clap, and we are going to use clap. We're going to start by investigating the rhythm. We're going to tap in 4 beats and count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 ta. Ta, 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 ta. Now let's take a look at what's going on here. So my starting note here says 3 on, that's a G, and my thumb for my left hand will be on D right there, just 1 note above middle C. Pay attention to what's happening next. Well, I do notice that I'm at 4/4 time that I have an F sharp, so I could circle or underline these F sharps that occur so that I do not forget them. But let's see, it goes step down, step up, skip up, step down, step down, step down. You can see how I wrote the symbols in here. You can do that as well. And obviously you should have already done this on your own before watching this video. So this should be kind of like a review for what you already did. And we see the dynamics as well. We're going to start out forte, and we're going to end mezzo piano. The last step is to play it. We're going to set a slow and steady beat. We're going to keep playing no matter what. Once again, please notice that I do stop to transition between the right and the left hand, and that's because I'm holding a camera. But you should not have a break when you do it. Okay, so I am in the correct position. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Remember, if you did not get it completely right, no big deal. You get 3 opportunities on a sight reading to get it correct. Now, the last thing asks us to play today's pitch and fingering pattern in 3 different octaves on the piano. And by different octaves, what they mean is different registers. So we're going to be using the same pitches, which means we're going to be using C, G, E, G, C, just in different places on the piano. So it asked us at first to play it down here. So we're not going to do that one now. We need 3 others. We can do middle C. We could go down deeper. We could go up higher. You can choose any C on the piano to begin this. So you have 7 different places that you can start. And that is day 4. You've made it to day 5. Please make sure that you have completed the activities on your own before progressing. We have made it to day 5 of week 3, level 1 sight reading. So let's dig into it. Number 1 says to play this 5-note pattern as written, then play it again 1 octave lower using the same fingering. So before I begin, I just want to plan my fingering. And the way that I like to do that is by looking at where the skips and the steps are. So I notice there's a step, step, skip, and then a 5th back down to the starting note. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 5, 1. I'm going to play it where they wrote it, which is 1 octave above middle C. And then they want me to play it 1 octave lower using the same fingering, which means they want me to play it on middle C. Okay, now tap 1 measure of this beat with your hand or foot. Continue tapping while you speak, tap, or clap the rhythm. So 3/4 time, we're going to count in 3 beats and we're going to speak it over. You can see the rhythm words right there. 1, 2, 3. Ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta, ta. Okay, mystery piece number 1. Now, when we have a mystery piece like this, we can do something called audiate. When we audiate, we take what we know from our ear training and we think, what melody is this going to sound like? So as you get better and better at ear training, you should be able to hear more and more of what you see so that you know what to anticipate. So it asks us to circle the left-hand finger number below the note C in measure 6. That is down here. It's asking us to do that because that's a fingering change. So I also wrote the word prepare for myself here so that I remember to move my left hand when I get there. And now we're going to use clap. So the first step of clap is to count. Do it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 ta. Ta, 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 ta. The tricky part here that we need to look at is it moves right from the right to the left hand. So your eye might not follow that and might miss that beat. So make sure your eye is staying right on the note head as you do this. Next, we need to look at our starting note. So this is a right hand 1 on C, and this is a left hand 3 on C. And then I also wrote the C here because I know that my thumb is going to have to move there. So that's just my preparation. My next step is to pay attention to what happens next. So I'm looking at where we go up and down, where there's skips and steps first. So you can see that I wrote in the steps, the skip, skip, step, and I wrote these in all as I was going through. And now I've been doing this for a while, so I figured out at this point what the melody was. I am curious at what point you figured out what the melody was, whether it was when you were playing it or beforehand. So it helps me to know where you are in your ear training if you could share that with me. I also need to look at the phrasing and the dynamics. So I noticed these are staccatos and these are legatos, staccatos and legatos. I also noticed that the staccato parts are mezzo piano and the legato parts are forte. That's true for both lines. So my last step now is to just play this. So I'm going to set a slow and steady beat and I'm going to keep playing no matter what. This is one that I want to get the rhythm correct for you too so that the melody sounds the way that it should. So I'm going to move my camera and play it with both hands. Okay, I have my camera moved. I'm setting my hands up with my right hand thumb on C and my left hand 3rd finger on C, and I am ready to begin. So I'm going to count in slow and steady, and I'm not going to stop no matter what. 1, 2, ready, go. Remember, you always have 3 ties to get it right. So if you didn't get it right the first time, no big deal. Just try again. Let's take a quick look at what number 4 asks us to do. Number 4 asks us to play the piece again with the right hand 1 octave higher and to listen for the effect that had. So I'm going to move my right hand up 1 octave and try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it wants me to play it with my left hand 1 octave lower. So I'm just going to situate the camera a tiny bit different. And we're going to try that. So my right hand's back at middle C. 1, 2, ready, go. The last thing this asked me to do is to explore other creative ways that I could change the song. Suggest slowing down the tempo, changing the dynamics, reversing the staccato and legato, and whatever I want. So actually, I'm going to start by trying to speed up the tempo. 1, 2, ready, go. Now I think I'm going to reverse the staccato and legato and see what that does. 1, 2, ready, go. So you can keep playing with different possible changes and see what you like, and you can switch the song around. And that's the end of week 3 sight reading. You have completed week 3 sight reading activities. Great job.